All right, so we need some prerequisites that need to be met. So the first one's going to be ASCOM. The second one's going to be the ASCOM drivers for SkyWatcher mounts. And the last one will be the SkyWatcher SYNSCAN Pro App. Let's get started. Navigate to your browser. In this case, I'm going to be using Google Chrome. And the first search for is ASCOM. Once your Google search results populate, you want to look out for ASCOM standards for astronomy. Go ahead and click on that. All right, so we're going to move over to platform 6.6 SP2. Go ahead and click on download. All right, once it downloads, go ahead and click on that notification. The following is presented. Do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? Go ahead and select yes. And the installation starts. At this screen, we're just going to click on install. And once it's completed, go ahead and click on finish. The next website we will be visiting is skywatcher.com, which is the global site. And why are we using the global site? The global site's always going to have the latest drivers available, and it's more up to date. Once the site has loaded, go ahead and navigate to support and scroll down to where it says software and firmware and click on that. The first one we want to download is ASCOM driver. So navigate down to there and click on ASCOM driver for SYNSCAN app version 1.40 and go ahead and click on download. Once that completes, again, we're going to click on that. Same window as previously shown pops up again. Do you want to allow this app from an unknown publisher to make changes to your device? Go ahead and select yes. Accept the license agreement terms and click on install. I had this installed previously. If it's your first time, you will not get this message. So just ignore that portion. But once you click on install, make sure you follow through. And once you get to this screen at the end, uncheck where it says view help, as we don't need to view that, and click on finish. All right, now going back here to the SkyWatcher site, we're going to scroll up and select the SYNSCAN app. Click on that and navigate down to the second entry, and you're going to be clicking on Windows 10 11 program SYNSCAN Pro App version 2.431. Again, this is at the time of this video. If you're watching this at a later time, there's chances that the software perhaps might be updated. It will be the same process. Go ahead and click on download. Once that finishes, it's going to be a compressed zip file format. So you want to click this time on the little folder to take you to the location. And once it says SYNSCAN Pro Windows 2431 zip, go ahead and right click over that. And you want to scroll down and select extract all. Make sure that this option is checked. You want to see the contents of the files extracted. All right, so the files have been extracted. Navigate to the folder that says SYNSCAN Pro. And you might have to scroll up or down. This might be down here somewhere in the middle. In this case, it's at the top. But before you click on that, what I recommend is you right click over it and select show more options. And then click on pin to the taskbar. So that way it's easier to launch from there any given time. Otherwise, you're going to be searching through your downloads folder or whatever folder you downloaded it to, the software name, and then the subfolder. All right, so let's go ahead and click on the SYNSCAN Pro app. If this is your first time, you will see this pop-up window that states Windows protected your PC. Windows Defender Smart Screen prevented an unrecognized app from starting. In a sense, do you trust this app? It's at your own risk. It's a trusted app. Just click on more info and select run anyway. All right, so there's a few things that we need to check first. So we click on settings, connect settings. We want to make sure that we are on serial. So click the tab for serial. You want to make sure that your COM port corresponds to your USB dongle. And I'll show you that. You just click on start, enter device manager. And under ports, you will see that it says prolific and it's on COM 4. This is important that you are on the correct COM port. The baud rate 9600, and these are the ports that is used by other third-party software to communicate. As you can see, if you're going to be using Stellarium, you have to be on port 10,001. To connect to SYNSCAN, it's going to be port 11,881. All right, let's hit the back button, and we're going to click connect. And as you can see, it connected. The alignment data is entered. We could check a few things on here. So you can see location. Make sure that this is enabled, and it'll auto-populate the location information. Now, this is a bonus step. At this time, you are connected. Now, to get NINA to talk to the app, let's go ahead, close this out, and we will launch NINA. If you have more than one profile, make sure you're on the correct one. We're going up to work under the equipment tab. Click on telescope. Click the drop down and make sure that you are selecting SYNSCAN app driver. Go ahead and click connect. And as you can see, it has successfully connected to the SYNSCAN app. You could slew here manually if you want to, or you could do it right from the SYNSCAN Pro App itself. You could also use an external controller, such like a Bluetooth PlayStation, which is not covered in this tutorial. There's plenty of videos on YouTube for that, on how to pair it and have a wireless controller that you could slew your telescope around. So that covers this portion of the tutorial. And as a bonus, if you wish to proceed, I'll show you real quick how to connect Stellarium to also talk to SYNSCAN and to NINA. So let's go ahead and launch Stellarium. First thing we want to do is move the mouse cursor all the way to the edge and click on configuration. Next, we're going to go to plugins, scroll down, and you're going to select telescope control. Click on that, click load on startup. You also want to enable remote control, load on startup. Close this out, close Stellarium, go ahead and open it back up. The reason that we're doing this is because when you click on load on startup, it has to start the module in order for you to configure it. So now we go back again to the configuration window, plugins, scroll down, and we're going to start on telescope control. Click on configure. I already have both of them on there, two different methods to connect. So I'll show you real quick. So this is through the SkyWatcher. I'm going to show you the settings, otherwise it'll be clicking on you. You want to make sure that it is set to external software or remote computer, the local host, and this is important, the port number that we just covered before on the SYNSCAN app. Let me minimize this so I can show you. If we go to settings on the SYNSCAN app and we go to connect settings, Stellarium uses port 10,001. Stretch this out so you can see. And we click OK. I'm going to simulate it, so I'm going to click on connect. And you can see it has successfully connected. If I zoom out and scroll, it'll tell you that my telescope is currently facing north. If you want to pass on the coordinates to Nina, I'll show you that real quick. So let's just search for, say, the cosmic bat. That's where it is. Oops, mistake here. Click on the cosmic bat. And click down here where it says move the telescope. Select current object. And now if I click here on slew, the telescope will slew to that object. But we're going to pass these coordinates over to Nina. All right, so let's open up Nina. Equipment, telescope. We are still connected, but just double check that you are indeed connected. Go to options, go to equipment, and make sure that it says planetarium, stellarium, localhost, and the port number, which is 8090. Now, you would think that you would be entering 10,001. That is incorrect. 8090, and I'll show you why. If we go back to Stellarium and we go to configuration window, to plugins, and we click on remote control, we click configure, you will see that the port is 8090. Make sure that these two check boxes when you configure this step is enabled, otherwise it won't connect. So now Nina is able to talk to Stellarium. So let's go to the framing wizard, and if we click this little pin right here, it'll say get coordinates from the planetarium. As you can see, it auto-populated LDN 43, and here's the coordinates. Now if I had the camera connected and everything to demonstrate this, you will see that it frames it, and you click on slew and center when that option comes up, and it'll move the scope to target. It will also plate solve if you have that configured. And here's the cosmic bat, and this is your frame. As you can see, there was also a notification there stating that it successfully gathered the coordinates from Stellarium. And that does it all. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Hope this video has been informative to you. Thank you.